what do you got today?
Today we are going to talk about there's many ways to get in and out of a contract. So there's tons of contingencies that you have to navigate through to get to the closing table. There's usually about 10 or 12 standard ones. We're going to kind of talk about the top few. So one big important thing when you're writing a contract, if you can't get your information together that might be important to your lifestyle, like can I park a boat in the driveway? Can I put an above ground pool in? Are fences allowed? That would be something that you want to include would be a review of indentures contingency. So that's something that needs to be settled in the first 10 days of a contract. Another big one, obviously, is the building inspections. Those have to be settled in the first 10 days typically as well. You can do radon, termite, mold, lead, all kinds of inspections, but it all has to be done right up front, and then you have another 10 days to negotiate what comes out of those inspections. If you don't come to a resolution, the contract dies.
Is there? I've asked this question. Is there a poison pill where you can put it in that basically you can put it in there so I can change my mind in 10 or 12 days if I want to?
Well, here's the thing. There is the built-in, we call it the buyer's remorse clause. So after you get a contract accepted, you have those 10 days to do your inspections. You have to perform a professional inspection. At that point, you don't have to move forward. You can terminate the contract. You give them a notice of termination, and you get your earnest money back. There doesn't have to be anything wrong with the house. You just have to offer the report up to the seller. The seller doesn't have to take the report if they don't want to see it. But it's that last second, all right, here's your last out. You did an inspection. You can get out if you want, but if you want to move forward and ask for repairs, then that clause goes away. The second you make a request for repairs, it goes away. So then you have 10 days to struggle over who's going to fix what.
Right.
And here's what a lot of people don't know too. Whatever you wrote on that first inspection notice, so let's say there was 30 things that came up and you asked for 15 of them. Whatever you wrote on those 15, I don't care how many times you go back and forth in between in those 10 days negotiating, the seller ultimately, because you can all of a sudden decide you didn't want it. So now you go back and say, well, you didn't accept my 15, so I'm going to ask for 30. They can ultimately go back and take your very first request. If you can't come to an agreement over those 10 days, the seller still has the right to go back and take the very first request that you put in. So you need to keep that in mind. It's important how you draft your first inspection notice.
Basically, all of this is really hurting my head, so just call Kathy Helbig.
Yes. Yeah, there's a whole lot more.
Yes.
Municipal inspections, insurability, you got to go through title survey. It's a lot for people to think they can do it themselves just because they're online, reading how to do real estate or how to buy houses.
Right.
It's a lot of navigating, a lot of curveballs that come at you at one time, and a lot of negotiating.
So call Kathy Helbig in the Kathy Helbig group.
In the Kathy Helbig group.
You betcha. 314-276-SOLD. That's the phone number. You're always open online, KathyHelbigGroup.com. And don't forget your app. It's App Store. Just download the Kathy Helbig Group app. It's fantastic. Safe travels, and we'll see you next week here in studio.
Thank you. Sounds good.
You got it. Kathy
Bye,
Helbig
Kathy.
here on the Big 550 KTRS. I hold in my hand, Kelly Jackson, 15 amazing facts about the worst show on television, which I find myself watching all